Welcome to part 21 of Ocarina of Time. Yeah, and in my last video, we just freed Epona and saved Lon Lon Ranch from the tyrannical ownership of Ingo. So, yay. Now we can move around Hyrule Field, and we can move around at whatever speed we want. Now, at this point, I'm going to make a slight detour and head towards Lake Hylia, because there are a couple things I want to get at Lake Hylia that will help me later on in my playthrough. And what you want to do is take Epona, make sure you gather enough speed, and jump over these fences. Yeah. The Lake Hylia seems a bit different. Yeah, you may have noticed in that little cutscene that the lake has dried up. Yeah, in the 7 years, the lake has mysteriously dried up, and we're going to solve that mystery later on. Of course, there are still blue Tektites around, so be careful. You know, I thought with Link being stronger and all, he would slight these guys in one hit, so yeah. And what is this? This magic leaf? What is this magic leaf doing here? Well, stupid crow things. Well, those magic beans that we bought off that fat salesman who's kept on chowing on some, well, it turns out that they are not worthless. 7 years have passed. These magic beans have grown into magic leaves that serve as floating platforms that can lead you to pretty much hidden areas and areas that we cannot reach on our own. Like here, for example, I rode this magic bean leaf to, well, I got off here at the top so I can climb this ladder so I can grab this heart piece, so yeah. And if we hop back on the magic leaf, we will take a ride over to the fishing hole. Because, again, the lake is mostly dried up except for that one spot surrounding that island. Yeah. But first, let's pay a visit to the Scarecrow over here. Notice that there is only one Scarecrow. The one that's not Pierre. Anyway, he'll instantly recognize you as the fairy guy with the ocarina. So yeah. Anyway, what you want to do here is remember the song you played for him as a kid. Make sure it's a simple song. What you want to do is pull out the ocarina. And first of all, that's not the same ocarina. The ocarina I played was beige, brownish. Anyway, what you want to do is play the exact same song that you created for him now, and then he'll recognize that tune, and that tune from this point forward will be known as the Scarecrow Song. Now, the Scarecrow Song will allow, well, first of all, he's letting you know that Pierre is actually traveling. And what it does is, when you play the Scarecrow Song, well, let me put it to you this way. When you, when Navi turns green and hovers over a certain spot, somewhere in Hyrule or in a dungeon, that is your cue to play the Scarecrow Song, because when you play the Scarecrow Song, Pierre will pop up out of the ground, and he will be a way to, then we can latch onto him and reach higher places. So yeah. So what I use the magic leaf to go over here to the fishing pond because again, there's no water for me to swim, so I cannot reach it by any other means at present. So yeah, there's the fisherman right there, and I'm his only customer. That's kind of sad when you think about it. I mean, I've been his only guy for 7 years. Yeah. So anyway, I'm back to fishing again, and this time we're going to see if we can catch a really big fish, because again, if we catch a really big fish, we are going to get a nice prize, and this prize will be helpful because yeah, I mean, it's not another piece of heart. I mean, That'd be silly. So yeah. Once again, he's explaining the rules. Blah 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 blah. Basically, the fishing pond is pretty much exactly the same as it was when you were Little Link, except that, like the guy said back in the past, the fish are bigger, and with fish being bigger, there's more of a risk for them to break free of the lines because they're so heavy, and yeah. So it's gonna make this experience a little fun. So yeah. Now once again, the big fish I want is located near that log over there. That log that forms this kind of arch over there to the slightly left center right there. And of course, again, if you want, you can get Link like enough into the water so that he's at least shoulder deep, like the water's above his shoulders, so that he will be close enough to get the fish. And again, be careful because other fish will again try and intercept the lure and grab the hook intended for the fish that you want. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, I spent some time here fishing, and I'm going to demonstrate to you how big the fish have become. See, that's the fish right there I want. However, as I try to lure him in, let's see. For some reason, he keeps on ignoring it. So yeah, you're gonna have to do a bunch of fancy tricks with the lure here because you want to make sure that you want to get the fish's attention. Oh, by the way, the guy was wearing a hat. That's because he's bald now. Yeah, 7 years have not been kind to his scalp. And well, here's this smaller fish that he's going to intercept the lure. But yeah, right there. Anyway, the fisherman is now wearing a hat because he's bald. Now here's a fun little Easter egg you can do if you want to be mean. Take the rod, cast it out so that it would hit his hat, and if you pull the hat away, it'll pretty much reveal his baldness. And of course, you'll have to pay damages for his hat and all that stuff, but he will not regain his hat. He will be bald for the rest of the time. So yeah. Well, and as you saw there, my fish was bigger at 9 pounds, so yeah. Anyway, I decided to move to another part of the pond so that I would get a better chance to get the fish. Now, of course, you have to wiggle it with your control stick, pull it with A, push the R button to do all sorts of fancy tricks because this guy will pretty much ignore your lure until you do something fancy. See? And of course, Navi can help by Z targeting the fish that you want. So that's always nice. So yeah, those big fish tend to ignore you unless you do some really fancy moves. However, with this fish, which I managed to get in a moment, I managed to lure just close enough to me so that when he grabs onto my hook, BAM! Instant grab. Because these guys can really pretty much screw around with you. I mean, if you try to pull these guys in, they can break free, and that could ruin your whole thing. So yeah, we got a whopping 18 pounds of fish, and keep it because this is the fish that will give me my prize. Woohoo! And afterwards, we're done with fishing for the rest of the game. So yeah. And of course, I know some people would like to play this mini game. I mean, saving the world from Ganondorf, screw that. I want to go fishing. Nice to sit back, cast a lure, sipping a cold glass of, do they have beer here in Hyrule? I think it would be mead or ale or milk. Yeah, sipping a cold glass of milk while casting a lure, waiting for that one bite. Anyway, for getting that big old fish, we get the golden scale. Now we can dive much, much deeper, and we're going to put this scale to use right away. Anyway, say goodbye to the fisherman because we're not going to see him again. Bye. I'm not coming back. See ya. Alright. Let's go. See here that Navi's green hovering right there? That means that if we play the Scarecrow Song, Pierre will appear right there, and if we have the right item, we can latch onto him and he'll pull us up. Now, I guess seeing that he doesn't mind if I latch onto him with something, but yeah, he's a scarecrow, so it shouldn't hurt. So yeah. Anyway, head over to the laboratory right here. And see this pool right here? Jump into the water and then start diving. Go dive straight down, and you notice now we can go down to 8 levels. And you hear that familiar Zelda tingle? That means we've done something. Alright. And how was he watching me? I don't want to know how he was watching me. Seriously, how did you watch me? Anyway, for touching the bottom of that pool, we get the heart piece. Goody. Alright. Alright, so we're pretty much done with Lake Hylia for the moment. So just hop on your trusty steed, and we are going to finally go to Kakariko Village. So yeah. I mean, what other kind of odd weirdness I will encounter between the time I was a kid and now. Oh, you know one of those hidden holes that the Stone of Agony will reveal, or would have revealed if I had the proper equipment to feel it? It was actually between the fence that Epona just jumped, going to or from Lake Hylia. So, later on, I will plant a bomb there, and I will dive down and hopefully get something nice. Anyway, here it is. Oh, that's a steep climb. Like, I like how he's trying to struggle. Like, come on, Epona. I thought Ingo tried to groom you all that stuff. I thought you were supposed to be a superior horse. Yeah. See, it would have been nice to have Epona back as a kid. That way we could travel through Hyrule. We could basically leave the stall children in the dust. And there's another one of those Poes. However, and these Poes that I keep on making appear accidentally, well, we will be hunting them down, and we will be selling them to that creepy, one-eyed, hooded Poe selling guy. So yeah. Anyway, here we are in Kakariko Village, and you'll notice that it is fully constructed, is fully completed since we last been here. And you'll notice here that not all of the townfolk from Hyrule Castletown have been killed. Some of them have managed to escape and relocated to this village. And it was just like that one guard said, that Kakariko will be as bustling as Hyrule Castletown. Well, thanks to unforeseen circumstances, Ganondorf, it has become such a town. Of course, one of them's blabbing that they saw Dampe the Gravedigger go into a grave, and he was carrying some kind of treasure with him. We're going to investigate that in this video. Anyway, talk to this guy right here, and he will explain the history about a man who has special sight, who can see things. And something about seeing the truth. Put that in the back of your mind, folks, because we will find out how this guy was able to see things. And they say that his house was located where the well is now. And Navi, I'm already in Kakariko Village. Shut up. Anyway, go to the graveyard, folks. Now, the graveyard, for the most part, is the same, except for one big difference. Well, two big differences. In the 7 years since you've been frozen, Dampe's dead. Yeah, the gravedigger, he passed away. Anyway, when you go into his shack, you can read a diary and saying that I have a keepsake. If you want to visit my grave to try and get it, you're welcome. So yeah. Oh yeah, before I find Dampe's grave, I'm going to restock my bottles with one of the fairies from the fairy fountain. So, see, it's nice to have a convenient fairy fountain like right here, so you can go get it at any time. So yeah. And I also like to point out that remember that kid that was going around in the daytime when you were little? Well, somehow he managed to disappear, and that his family in Kakariko, his mother, disappeared in between the 7 years, and that house has been replaced with I think a shop or something. So that's kind of creepy. Where did the boy disappear to? That is odd. So yay, we got fairies. I feel more safe knowing that I will not die. Anyway, we kind of have puny items, but that is about to change in a moment. Now before I find... Well, anyway, to find Dampe's grave, there is a second grave with flowers on top, like beside it. But first I want to get on this magic bean leaf because in that crate is a heart piece and I kind of want more health. Anyway, you see there's a row of graves, and there is a grave right there that has another set of flowers. Now that is Dampe's grave. Pull back that one, and you will manage to open the passageway, and we'll meet Dampe again. Well, his ghost, at least. And speaking of ghosts, the graveyard is now haunted by Poes. You can tell that because there are lanterns, and if you get close to one, the Poe will wake up and will float around. So yeah, let's go meet Dampe and hopefully get that nice little treasure. And yeah, question mark, where are we? Yeah, there's Dampe, dead. He even has a halo, so and he has a Poe lantern. So yeah, he's definitely a ghost according to Hyrule tradition. So yeah. Anyway, the goal of this is you want to follow Dampe through these catacombs, and you have to keep up with him, and if you make it to the end with him, he will give you a nice reward. Now, en route, you'll be pretty much, like Dampe will be throwing out these fires to try and slow you down, and if you touch them, you get hurt, like that one right there, ouch, and you lose a quarter heart. Anyway, there's a added danger here because Dampe will go through a doorway, and once he goes through that doorway, this timer will sound off, and once that timer sounds off, you only have a limited amount of time to go through the door, and if that door seals, like if the door seals in front of you, not behind you, then it pretty much sends you back to the beginning of this race, and you have to race them again, and guess what? You get to lose health too. So, yeah, that's nice. And we're here. And yes, I was. So, yeah. Anyway, as a reward, we get this item called the hook shot. Now, the hook shot has appeared in Zelda games before, and it's made its first appearance in A Link to the Past. Basically, it's a spring-loaded contraption that can take Link to higher areas if it latches on the right kind of materials. And the materials in this case, in this game, for example, we latch on to wooden items. And the hook shot is also like a long-range weapon. And like, for example, if we encountered a gold Skulltula, we would take the hook shot, and we kill it, and we take its token from a distance. So, that's nice. So, it's a great weapon to have for the moment. In fact, it's the only other viable weapon to use at this time besides bombs and Deku Nuts. So, yeah. Now, folks, when you leave this area, be careful, because if you screw up leaving this area, you could die and you can end up back at the beginning of the Dampe race, and that's not good. And speaking of the Dampe race, we can go back at any time and challenge him again, and I will later on. Now, it looks like you'd be trapped here, but those blocks bear the same markings as the Door of Time. And that is your cue to play the Song of Time, and when you play it, the blue blocks disappear. So, that's always nice. Anyway, it turns out that this mysterious place that we've been at is the windmill. So yeah, the hidden catacombs from Dampe's grave lead straight to the windmill. Now, if you have not gotten the heart piece using the boomerang, this is what you would do. You would get on the spinning platform, and from here you would jump to this platform where the heart piece would have been. So yeah, and notice that the windmill's a bit broken. And here is the organ grinding man, and he is mad. Why is he mad? Well, he's telling you why he's mad. 7 years ago, something happened, and all the Ocarina kids' fault? Wait a second. He's not talking about me, is he? So yeah, just whip out the Ocarina, and what he'll do is reminisce about how this Ocarina kid came by here, played a song, which screwed up the windmill, and it caused the well to drain. And he's going to teach you that song right now. So yeah, this is the final song that we have to learn, like the final regular song that we have to learn that does magical things. And this is called the Song of Storms. Every time we play the Song of Storms, we create a storm. And when we played it in here, the windmill will start to go a little bit faster. And if we talk to this guy again, he will immediately recognize you as the kid that pretty much screwed up the windmill. Just like that. And you can see here the windmill is turning faster and faster and faster. Whoa, wee, wee! Alright, folks. We are going to start in my next video a major trading sequence that will result in one of the best weapons in the game. See ya then.